Officials believe Iran is only weeks away from having enough fuel to build a nuclear weapon, something the Biden administration blames on former President Donald Trump.
Iran's increased capability and capacity, their aggressive actions that they have taken through proxy wars around the world would be happening if the former president had not recklessly pulled out of the nuclear deal.
But Len Khodorkovsky, a former senior advisor to Trump's Iran envoy, says their maximum pressure campaign did exactly what it was meant to.
Iran was down to about $4 billion in cash reserves when the Biden administration came to office. That was the result of the sanctions and the pressure of the maximum pressure campaign. Its proxies around the region were at the weakest point ever, as was the regime.
Khodorkovsky says all that changed was an easing of sanctions after Biden took office,
which sent the wrong signal to the Iranian regime and unleashed their sprint to where they are right now. So the Biden administration gave the Iranian regime the space it needed, the cover it needed to get to where they are and have much greater leverage, of which they had really none when the administration started.
While current thinking is that re-entering a nuclear deal is the only way to prevent a nuclear Iran, Khodorkovsky and other former Trump administration officials point to alternative options.
I think the only way to reverse the progress that the Iranian regime has made to date is to turn maximum pressure to excruciating pressure. That will send exactly the right message as to what we will find acceptable.
Eli Kohanim, former deputy special envoy to combat anti-Semitism, says Iran has a track record of cheating on its deals with the U.S., and a diplomatic track may no longer be the answer.
Many voices argue that the United States should actually show a very strong military resolve to the Iranians and let them understand that there are red lines that they cannot cross, and that if the Iranians are not willing to let go of their desire to achieve a nuclear weapons state, that there would be military consequences to that decision-making.
When the U.S. re-entered negotiations with Iran, President Biden promised that a new deal would be longer and stronger than the original. Khodorkovsky calls the deal currently on the table weaker and shorter. Republicans vow that they will block any final agreement if the administration chooses to send it to Congress, but Democrats maintain they won't have the votes. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.